Greetings! Today we are going to be making some food, and all of these recipes are inspired by spring and also things that I grew up eating. So let's do this thing. Oh, Nugget's excited. Nugget's the real chef today, right, Nugget? He's like looking at all the food like, ooh, give me that. The first thing we're going to be making is a soba noodle salad, and I was really inspired by my friend Claire because we did a cooking video together where we made a soba noodle salad together, but I'm kind of putting my own spin on it because there's so much that you can do with soba noodles, and they're really awesome. You can pretty much use like leftovers that you have, mix it all together, and keep this salad in your fridge all week. I'm going to be starting off with making the sauce or the dressing, and this is actually something that we're going to be using in the next recipe as well. So I'm starting off here with a bowl that has 2/3 of a cup of creamy almond butter, and if you're allergic to nuts then you don't have to use this. You can totally just leave this out because the sauce will work without it, but I just like having a creamy base. Then I have a 1/2 cup of coconut aminos, and this basically is taking the place of soy sauce. You can use soy sauce if you want, but I really like coconut aminos because it has way less sodium and it actually kind of has a nicer flavor. It's slightly sweet but not too sweet, and it still adds that saltiness that soy sauce does, but without being really overwhelming. Here I have some fresh lime juice that I squeezed, and you want about 5 to 6 tablespoons here. It's really just to your taste. 4 tablespoons of sesame oil right here. I really love the flavor of sesame oil. It makes a huge difference. Then we just got some good old honey here, and this is about 2 to 3 tablespoons. This is just gonna add some sweetness. Whoops, almost splashed myself. I have a little jar of chopped garlic, and this is something that I grew up always having in the fridge because I'm half Thai, and my grandma and my mom cooked Thai food all the time, so they always had pre-chopped garlic just around always. But you can just take fresh garlic if you want and chop it up yourself, but this is just nice because it's already done. So you want about 2 teaspoons of garlic. If you really love garlic, you can put in more. Now it's time for our friend Mr. Whisk, and we are going to be mixing it all together. The almond butter may stick to the bottom, but it's really all gonna emulsify together and really just be a nice dressing slash sauce. Once you kind of like scrape the bottom, everything really works together and binds together. I love recipes like this because, like Claire says, they're dump and stir recipes, so you can have everything prepped and ready to go ahead of time. So I have over here 8 ounces or 1 package of buckwheat soba noodles, and these are just really great noodles. They cook just like regular pasta. You pop them in some boiling water for about 8 minutes, drain them, run cold water over them, and it's good to go. So now I am going to be adding all of the toppings before the dressing, and you'll see how easy this is to put together. So here I went to the store and got a coleslaw blend. So I'm just gonna take a couple handfuls and dump it in. I'm all about cutting corners if it's something like this where I can get something that's pre-sliced or pre-chopped. I am there. I also have some asparagus that I steamed earlier, and again, you could use like leftover asparagus from dinner the night before, and I just cut it up and I'm gonna toss it in like that. And then I have some cooked chicken here. I'm just gonna shred this up with my fingers because I just like to keep things casual. It doesn't need to be, you know, perfect little chunks in here. And another alternative to meat is adding mushrooms, because mushrooms are just hearty within themselves. So if you still want that kind of textural feeling of something similar to meat, mushrooms are an awesome way to go, especially if you're not crazy about tofu. I love spicy food, so I have some sriracha chili sauce here. This is optional if you don't like spicy food. You can leave this out, but I'm actually just gonna add this directly into the dressing here. I'm just gonna put maybe about that much. So then I'm just gonna mix it in. You can also do this separately if you just want to squirt it over the top, but I just like mixing it in so it's all kind of cohesive. going to add the dressing slash sauce into the bowl. Only half though, because we need the other half for the next recipe. So what I like to do whenever I'm pouring dressing is I pour it around the edges, so that way it really gets to the bottom and you're not just touching the stuff on the top. And then all you gotta do from here is mix it all up. This is the finished soba noodle salad. It's super easy to make, and what I learned from Claire is that you can keep this in the fridge for a week and the flavors just really sink in, and it actually gets better as the week goes on. You don't have to worry about heating it up. It's just something that you eat cold and you're good to go using ingredients that are fresh in the springtime, so it's awesome and makes everything taste better. Now it's time to make some spring rolls. And if you don't know what spring rolls are, maybe if you've gone out to eat, whether it's at an Asian restaurant or not in an Asian restaurant, since they're pretty popular now, maybe you've had something that's almost like a cold burrito with rice paper around it. It's one of my favorite things. I grew up eating these. So I'm just gonna start off with some Vietnamese spring roll rice wrappers. And you can find these either in the international section in a grocery store, or you can even order them on Amazon, because I looked that up. And they even have brown rice wrappers as well. So what I like to do is I normally take 2 of them, and they really do feel like paper. They're super thin, and I just have this pan of water right here. And I like to work with something that's shallow so I can really just stick these in and then pull them out easily. One at a time, just dip them in the water. It's good if your water is kind of lukewarmish, so not hot, but just a little bit warm. I have my first wrapper right here, and I'm gonna lay the second one just directly over the top. And now it's time to fill up our spring rolls, and you can pretty much put whatever you want in here, but I have some shrimp, so I'm just gonna take a couple of these, since these are kind of small, and lay them down. Then I just have some basil here. You can also use Thai basil if you want a slightly different flavor. I couldn't find any, so I just went with regular basil. I also have some fresh mint, because I love fresh mint. Not the hugest fan of artificial mint, but fresh mint is amazing, and it really adds a crisp freshness to the entire spring roll. And then I just have some romaine lettuce and the sauce from our previous recipe. I'm just taking up the basil. I'm gonna break it up and just kind of lay it on here. This just reminds me of being a kid, because I would eat these really regularly, especially on the weekend. My mom and my grandma would make these, and they would do different variations, and I loved them. So you can see that this is like a very crisp, fresh, simple dish. From here, you just want to wrap it all up, and you can see the rice paper is just really flexible now. Roll it over, just like that. And you have a really pretty little spring roll that you made yourself, and you can see like the green and the shrimp, and it's perfect. Here they are, and you can make as many or as little as you want. You can keep them in the fridge. You can make these for your friends. You can have them for lunch, a snack. They are awesome and super customizable. I am really excited because this is like my childhood right here, a little piece of my childhood that I'm sharing with you guys. It's a very nostalgic thing for me. All right, this last thing is gonna be ridiculously easy, but I wanted to make something a little bit sweet and slightly indulgent. So I'm going to be showing you guys how you can kind of sweeten up your popcorn. So I just have plain unsalted popcorn here that I've already popped. And then I have a bowl with a bar of white chocolate. It's this chocolate right here. So I just took an entire bar, broke it up, and put it in this microwavable bowl with a little bit of butter. And this is just like a little tiny slab of butter, and that's gonna help everything melt together when I pop it in the microwave. So this is gonna go in for about 30 seconds or until you see all of the chocolate kind of melting. The chocolate is melted here in this bowl, and I'm just giving it a little stir to make sure that it's all nice and combined with the butter. So now I'm just going to drizzle it over the popcorn here. And I love how the white chocolate just kind of blends in with the popcorn. And if you want, you can toss this all together, but it will sink down to the bottom, so it's not something that you absolutely have to do. But I absolutely have to lick my fingers for sure. delicious. Now from here, I like to take a little bit of salt because it just kind of brings out the extra flavor in the white chocolate and the sweetness in the apricots that I have right here. So you can use any kind of dried fruit that you want, but apricots come into season starting in the spring, so these are really awesome to have around, and I just love the color that they add. But I've also made this with cranberries, so you can use whatever dried fruit you want. Bananas would work, and you just sprinkle it over the top like this. And it's just a fun, different way to eat popcorn. So instead of doing something that's savory and salty and buttery or like herby, you can make it fruity and sweet with a little hint of a salty kick. I'm also gonna eat some of these because why not? So that's it. I'm gonna have a little bite here. Good stuff. You have the crunchiness from the popcorn, the chewiness from the apricots, and the sweetness from the chocolate with a little bit of saltiness. It's like an awesome combination, and you're hitting all of these different senses. That's gonna be it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed learning how to make these really easy recipes. If you try any of these recipes out yourself, I wanna see your photos on Twitter and Instagram, so make sure you tag me if you try any of these out. But until next time, I'll see you guys later. I'm gonna go wash my hands right now because I have salt and apricot and popcorn on them. So I'm gonna go do that. Peace out, guys. You can go now. Just wash my hands over here. Okay, bye.